Alrighty. Good evening, YouTube. This one might be a short one. Because the premise, I'm gonna say it right now. Scale to 1 to 10, I give this movie an 8. I'm gonna just say that right out the flat. And plus, I just did. Technically, this is the third review I did back to back. So, this movie is Taken 2. It stars Liam Neeson, Maggie Grace, how you say her name, Famke Janssen, and even the Albanian guy that plays the main bad guy. He was just on the screen a few seconds ago. He's known too. You just haven't really. He's been around Hollywood. You just never knew who he was. He was in Quarantine, another movie I reviewed, and he's in Batman. He's in Batman Begins too, also. But he was indirectly an influence as well. You know, when I'm doing my whole comic book thing, and I was getting, actors, facial wise and performance wise who I liked, and when I writing my characters, I did think of them in mind, and of course this guy was one of them. But this one pretty much takes place right after the first movie. If you haven't seen the first movie, technically all three movies really do somewhat connect, but I'm not going to review the third one because, one, I haven't seen it, and two, I don't own it. I really got this one because I haven't seen it, and also because I love Liam Neeson's performance in the action scenes. And really, when I get all these movies, my mom was joking, like, why do you have them? I keep them more because that's where I get some story beat influence, and I am going to watch it over and over and over again and to dissect it. But getting back on to the point, if you haven't seen the first one was Liam Neeson's daughter. I think she goes to somewhere in Europe. I think it's in Paris, and she gets kidnapped, and she gets kidnapped to be sold into sex trafficking. And Liam Neeson goes in to go and finds her, and in the process he kills a whole bunch of people who are involved in the sex trafficking trade. And one of them was it was pretty much, she was being passed around. I think the guys he officially killed, didn't really connect with the bad guys in this one. It was more of the people, the Albanians who had her, and then they had moved. They already didn't have her in custody, but Liam Neeson was threatening and torturing one of them, to get the information, and he did, and end up dying when I don't think he got information out of him. So that sin carries on into this movie when the family wants revenge, and then they find out that he gets a private, I think he's pretty much a private security. He works in as being a high-tech security bodyguard, and one of the prime ministers or leaders or something like that in Istanbul wanted to use the services, and then that's how the family found out where he was going to be, and then they set up, to try and kill him. But the flip in this one is that him and his wife end up getting taken, and Maggie Grace, that was a good setup. I don't know if the trailers did that, but the movie kind of did at one point, where she's the one who has to bulk up on the skills and end up finding and helping them. And the good thing is that she keeps a good level head, because instead of having PTSD and start panicking when they're on the phone and says we're about to be taken, she mans up, and again, I see why now on the Fear of the Walking Dead, why Maggie Grace got the role, because in some of the past movies she does play a little bit of the damsel, and I think even on the show Lost she was a little bit heavy on the damsel in distress, and a little bit, but when you see her in this movie, it's like a transition audition for The Walking Dead, The Fear of the Walking Dead, because the scenes I've seen her in, she's a badass too, especially with the haircut. Like, she ain't fucking around. She kind of reminded me of the Jane character from the Walking Dead video game by Telltale. Is that, yeah, she knows the she's pretty much, I'm assuming she could have been like Shane on The Walking Dead, where she knew how things needed to be, except she wasn't as murderous. She didn't have that whole drama in the triangle. But getting off topic, back to Taken 2. In this one, they actually shot like two different versions of how the movie could have played out. To be honest, I really can't remember them. I think they had cut out some of the high tension moments around the third act, and they completely shot and like all new footage. If you have the DVD or the Blu-ray, you can see it, and it is somewhat of a different movie. It really took out I think the second version was less suspenseful, and it was more about the action-esque part and getting the Albanian gangsters. So the funny thing is that in this movie, Liam Neeson's character, the thing that got me was, when he told the bad guy, I really don't want to do this shit anymore. Your sons had made the choice at what they did, and not only capturing my daughter, but all those other people, and sold them into sex slavery. And then at the same time, some of the girls who didn't want to do anything had got killed. And when he tells him what your son, in the beginning when they first had their scene interaction, the son even said, I don't even give a shit about what he did. It's about what you did. And I was like, yeah, that's the human-esque nature, but you got to think about it, and I'm not even going to throw the politics into it. At least most parents know, if your kid does something bad and they get killed, or if the law officials have them and they bring you this information, yeah, of course, 9 times out of most parents are going to defend their kids. But if they know how their kids are 9 times out of 10 and they've been pre-warned not to do this and they get caught up, some parents be like, good, I'm glad you got him, because I told him this shit many times and they still didn't let it go. The best example, if you've seen Scared Straight, and the parents can't control the kids, and then when the kids get caught up, they don't shed a tear, It's just like, I warned you and this is what happened, But the funny thing is that and it was smart, because in any standoff moment, that's something what Bryan Mills had did, I would do. If I had him at gunpoint and I would give them a chance to walk away, the smart thing that he did, the gun was empty. There was he even took the round out of the chamber when the clip falls, or when the magazine falls. And yeah, I think him and the audience, they knew that he was gonna pick up the gun. It was an action movie, I would have been shocked if he didn't, but they even stated, you can enjoy your time with the sons you have left. And the fact I know if I kill you, they're going to come after me. And then, yeah, the dad says, yeah, for sure. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up, because he gave you a chance to live, and you still had took the chance when you picked the gun, and then no bullets came out. And then you were dumb enough and you had to freaking do it, because you should have known it was a trap. He would have took the gun with him if knowing that you weren't going to do anything and shoot him in the back, but he didn't. He dropped the gun. So I was like, yeah, he deserved that death. He asked for it. Yeah, and it was just funny because he had gasped. He was like, when it happened, and then Liam Neeson just grabbed his head and just shoved it into the back of the hangar thing. But the funny thing with this movie, I would say behind the scenes, is that I think right after this movie, Taken 3 did not come out. He did a movie called Non-Stop. And for years, I've been saying that has been another Taken sequel, because he pretty much played the same character even in that movie. And the suspense was on the same level. So I was like, something is telling me that this had to be either a spinoff or some kind of sequel that had connected with Taken. But technically it wasn't, It was... most of the movie had happened at an airport and on a plane. It would have been nice, to see that connection, because all the pieces had fit. And like I said, something's telling me behind the scenes, this had to be a Taken sequel of some sort at one point before they had changed their mind. So that's pretty much all I have to say. It was as I stated with The Hangover, I saw the first Taken and The Hangover with my buddies in college, and it was a tight experience. We were just hanging out, and we had popped this in. I have never seen it, and we were just having a thrill ride the entire time, and it was just amazing seeing, Liam Neeson, still having the moves, and he is a badass actor. I see why he got some of the roles, despite of people not liking the first Star Wars. He kind of was the best part of the film. And what was the other movies he's done? He was good as Ra's al Ghul in Batman. I really want to see more of that, because he really sells it as a good bad guy. The best way I can describe it is how Denzel Washington was in Training Day, and how Morgan Freeman was the bad guy in Wanted. He's this fatherly figure, and everything you say that comes out of his mouth, you believe this shit, and he could be manipulative. And actually, Liam Neeson was manipulative even in Batman. The only difference, of course, he revealed who he was in the first act, and then the major twist came around at the third act of the movie. But that's pretty much all I gotta say. The next review is gonna be the Raging Bull, but of course it's gonna be a minute. I have to watch that one because I'm actually gonna sit down and watch that. And it was Rocky Balboa, and then it was a movie about the other boxer, the first African American boxer, Jack Johnson. Can't remember the name of it now, but James Earl Jones is in it. And it was one of the movies I never heard of. I got it in the whole three box set. Actually, I'm looking at the name of it now. I think it's called the Great White Hope. But again, I'll talk about that when I get to it. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace.